Alright, so we're back doing something a little bit different this time. We're doing a maelstrom mission. So, it's going to be Necrons versus Blood Angels. Probably be the third video in a row of Necrons versus Blood Angels, but that's how we roll. So, what do I have? I have a Decurion detachment with a Destroyer Cult, Reclamation Legion, and then a squad of Death Marks. So I have 5 Destroyers here. I have 20 Warriors here with an Overlord. He has the Veil of Darkness, a War Scythe, and the 4+ Invulnerable save. I have the Destroyer Lord from the Destroyer Cult, and he has a War Scythe and the 4+ Invulnerable save. These 20 Warriors bought a Ghost Arc, so there's nobody in the Ghost Arc, it's just they're supporting them. And then I have 2 3-man squads of Destroyers. Ignore the 2 heavies, they're actually just normal Destroyers. I just don't own enough Destroyers yet. And then also over here, another proxy, is 5 Tomb Blades. I will buy those when the store finally gets more in stock, but now that they're cool, everybody bought them, so they're gone. Anyway, so 5 Tomb Blades over there taking up the flank. And there is an objective here that my warriors are holding right there. The Tomb Blades are on objective, and then there's one over here in that portion of the board. Another objective by the boxes there, objective in front of the church, and another objective by these boxes. The Blood Angels I'm playing, he has 10 Death Company in that building with Bolters, and then one with Thunderhammer, and one with a Power Fist, and also Astrath. In reserve, he has 2 Assault Squads with Melta, with 2 dual Meltas, a Infernus Pistol, it's all over there, 2 Meltas, Infernus Pistol, and a Power Sword in the Sergeant. And then one squad has a Priest, the other squad has Dante. He has a Storm Raven, which is empty. 2 10-man attack squads in drop pods with Flamer, Melta, Kami Melta, and then a 5-man assault squad in drop pod with dual Meltas and a Kami Melta. And then my reserves consist of 3 Night Scythes. One of them is empty, one was bought for a unit of Death Marks, which is Deep Strike on its own. The 1 unit of 10 Warriors, another one, and a unit of 5 Immortals in the other one, with all with Gauze. So that's the army list. Currently I have first turn. Do you want to try and seize?
Yes.
So here we go, we're going to try and seize. Oh, it's a 4. So I have first turn. We're playing Cleanse and Control, by the way, the first Maelstrom mission. So we'll be back with Necron turn 1. Alright, so back at the end of Necron turn 1, being as there was really no Blood Angels shootout, I kind of just repositioned and grabbed some objectives. I scored 2 points, one for holding objective number 5. These Destroyers came around here and jumped on that one. And then 1 for getting a unit 12 inches of my deployment, my enemy's deployment zone, so the jump actually shot across the table for that one. So I got 2 points turn 1. I also need objective 2, but that's in front of the church over there, and he has a whole bunch of Death Company in there, so it's not going to happen. So we'll be back with Blood Angels turn 1 and see what objectives he get. Alright, so the end of Blood Angel turn 1, and they brought in 2 of their drop pods, both with 10-man tackle squads, both combat squadded. They needed objective 6, which is right here by this, right there, you can see around the corner. So they scored that one objective. They didn't score either of the ones, they discarded one of them, but they still have one that gets scores of D3 if they hold twice as many as me, and at least 2. Shooting wise, the only shooting they had was some bolter fire into my bikes and killed one of them, so there's only 4 left. And other than that, they just kind of brought their Death Company out of the building and are now hiding behind the giant train in the middle. So we'll be back with Necron turn 2 and see what happens. So, Necron turn 2, I got 1 Night Scythe on, the one of the Warriors with it. And I got my Death Marks on there, back there next to that building. They failed epically. I think I'm last game I played the Death Marks probably. They're just not doing it for me. But they fired into the Death Company and only killed 1. No rending hits at all. Then the Night Scythe here, and these Destroyers fired in and killed 3 Marines from the attack squad. They broke and ran. Bikes just hang around the corner. These Destroyers fired into the drop pod, did 2 hull points to it. And then everything else over here, I needed to keep stuff within 12 inches of my table edge for my objective. So I kept it all back, but they all fired in and killed that drop pod for first blood. And then I scored 1 point for Hold the Line, it's called. So I got 1 point for Hold the Line and first blood. And that was it for this turn. I'm about to lose all my Death Marks, so that's going to be horrible, but we'll be back with Blood Angels turn 2. Alright, so we're back at the end of Blood Angels turn 2, and it was a good turn with Blood Angels. As you can see, there's a Storm Raven there, and not a Night Scythe there. Shot down my Night Scythe. Actually, it immobilized me, and I rolled that 1, so I crashed to the ground and died. Other than that, everything kind of stayed back here and shot into my Death Marks, who proved to be extremely resilient. I only lost 2. There was only 1 normal guy in assault range, so actually 2. I got assaulted by 2 Marines, I overwatched 1 to death, and of course the other one survived, and now we're locked in combat, so my Death Marks are standing back there. Other than that, a squad came down here, shot into my Destroyers, did a single wound, but they are contesting that objective. And then Dante tried to come in way over here, but scattered directly forward and mishapped on my Destroyers. So he got misplaced, so he's back over there in the corner. But the Blood Angels had supremacy, so they needed at least 2 objectives and twice as many as me. So they're holding 2, one with underneath that drop pod of these Marines here, and then one underneath that drop pod, and then they contested. I also held 2, but they contested one of mine. So they're holding 2, and I'm only holding 1. So they scored supremacy and got 2 on their D3. So they're now at 3 points to my 3 points. I do have first blood, so I'm up by 1. But we'll be back with turn number 3 for the Necrons and see what happens. Alright, so we're back with Necron turn 3, and it was a really good turn for the Necrons. I wiped out these warriors, or not warriors, I wiped out these marines over here that were on this objective, and I'm holding that objective. These warriors, I drew objective number 3, which is right here, so these warriors stayed put on this objective. My warriors that got blown out of the night side last turn hopped into the ghost arc here. And then over here my destroyers are within 3 inches of that objective. So I'm holding 3 objectives. And then my immortals bailed out here to contest that objective. And my jet bikes boosted up to contest that one. So one of the cards I drew was Supremacy, which is the same one he got last turn, and I got it this turn. I hold 3, he only currently holds 1, so I hold more than 2 and twice as many as he does. So I rolled my D3 and I actually got 3 off of it. And I also scored objective 3 from my warriors. So I got 4 points this turn. It was a huge turn for me. As far as what actually happened, my night sight, the empty one came on, shot into the Storm Raven, it jinked, I only did 1 whole point to it. Other than that, I shot into the squad down here and did no wounds, and that was it. That was all I did. So I jinked the Storm Raven, I killed 5 Marines over here on the right hand side, and I did some wounds down there, but he saved them all. So we'll be back with Blood Angels turn 3 and see what happens. Alright, so back at the end of Blood Angels turn number 3, and it was an alright turn for the Blood Angels. It could have gone a little better, but it wasn't bad. Storm Raven moved over and blew up my night sight to here that the Immortals got out of, so I only have 1 left. Pretty much everything revolved around Assault. He had a card that he needed to kill 3, well not needed, kill 1 unit in Assault to get 8 point, or kill 3 units in Assault to get a bunch more. So he lined up a bunch of units for Assault. I had my bikes on objective 2, my Tomb Blades. The Death Company, who are now back here, assaulted and wiped them out. There was a bunch of shooting, actually there wasn't a bunch, there was a little bit of shooting and then some assaulting into my Death Marks. There are still 5 left and they passed their morale checks. They lucked out and held back there. And then there was some shooting and assault into my Immortals back here, but they also held out. So he only ended up killing 1, so he still got his 1 point from it, but he didn't get the D3 or the D6, whatever it was. And then he discarded one of his other ones. He didn't want to try and come back here and take my objective 3 from me. So, Blood Angels got 1 point this turn. Dante and company moved up behind that big giant wall there. And that's all we got. So we're back with Necron turn 4. Alright, so it was an interesting turn for the Necrons, let's just say that. This objective is a Skyfire Nexus, and there's a Storm Raven right there. So I rapid fired all my warriors into it. I ended up with 7 glancing hits, and then he made 6 out of the 7 saves. So it is down, it's lost 2 whole points, but it is still alive. It was an amazing bit of rolling on my part, and then an even better bit of rolling on his part. So we tried to finish it off with the Destroyers and the Ghost Arc, but they couldn't get it done. Over here, these Destroyers and the other squad behind the hill over here all fired into these drop pods, because that's all they could see. And I did destroy that one, but this one here only took a single glancing hit. In Assaults, oh, and my nice head flipped there and just whiffed. In Assaults, I lost 1 more Death Mark, and he lost a single Marine, so the Death Mark's just refusing to die. And then over here, big slab fight, and nothing happened. I scored 1 objective this turn for getting objective 1, so I got 1 more point, and that is it. So we're back with turn 4 for the Marines. Alright, so back at the end of Blood Angels turn 4, and it was a pretty decent turn for them. Dante and company finally came up and helped out with the assault with the Immortals, and of course wiped them out. Tried an assault into the church with Death Marks, but these the Marines failed it, and the Death Marks again held out because they're just being ridiculous. Death Company finally moved out from behind the hill here, and assaulted into these Destroyers here and killed them off. And the Storm Raven flew off the table, and that was about all that happened. He did have hold objective number 4, which this drop pod and those guys are on, so he got that one. And he had another one, it was a Blood Angel specific one I think, right? It was kill a bunch of guys in assault. He needed to kill 3 for D3 or 6 for 6 points, but he didn't manage to finish off the Death Marks again, so I got just a single point from it. But he did pick up 2 points this turn, and he is finally putting pressure on me with Dante and with Astrath. So we'll be back with turn 5 for the Necrons and see what happens. Alright, so we're in Necron turn number 5, and it was an okay turn for us. I did a lot of damage, but I didn't score any points. So the Warriors and Ghost Arc moved up and fired into what used to be the Death Company squad. There's only 3 left with Dante there. Not Dante, Astrath. I had an objective to shoot something to death, or to kill something in the shooting phase. So these Destroyers tried to finish off that drop pod because Astrath was right in front of him. There's a 2-up save, so he's not going to kill that guy. But I only did a single whole point to it, so it's still alive. And then over here, these guys fired into Dante's squad and killed 5 Marines, but that is all. and then my knights had to flip off the table. So that is all I did. We forgot to do a combat, so we're going to finish that up here in a minute, but that doesn't matter for any of my points. So I scored no points. I did kill most of the Death Company and half of Dante's squad. We'll be back with Blood Angels turn 5 and see what happens. Alright, so Blood Angels turn number 5, and it was a really good turn for the Blood Angels. They drew objective number 1, which I previously ran away from, so they jumped on that one with Assault Marines. Dante split off and assaulted into my destroyers. He only did 1 wound, and I actually did 2 wounds back, 1 in Overwatch and then 1 in the combat. But more importantly, it gives him Line Breaker. They also drew objective number 5, and Astrath went in and killed these destroyers, and then the Death Company are holding objective number 5. And he got Recon, which was reveal all the mysterious objectives, which you already done. So he scored all 3 of his and got Line Breaker, which actually puts him up by 1. And other than that, the Storm Raven actually also came on and shot into my destroyers over here, but it only caused 1 wound. So we'll see if the game ends. If it ends right now, the Blood Angels take it by 1. So here we go. Here, go over here. And it's a 3, so we'll be back with turn number 6 and see what happens. Alright, so we're back at the end of Blood Angels turn 6. We just went and did all of turn 6 because mine was very uneventful. So what happened in my turn is I needed to kill something in the shooting phase to score points. So I had my Ghost Arc here and my Night Set came on. That's a Skyfire Nexus, so I shot everything into this. I did a bunch of damage to it and it made all of its saves. And there's 1 whole point left. It only had 1 whole point left. I still didn't manage to kill it. My big squad of warriors teleported way back over there for Line Breaker, and they also shot into that Marine squad that was there and killed all but 1, and that was it. And then in the Blood, so I got no points on my turn other than Line Breaker. And then on the Blood Angel turn, they needed to take objective 3, and they also needed to take objective 1, but they got a little hasty and ran away from objective 1 to assault my guys here. What else did you get? You got another point. Objective... something else. Anyway, they got 2 points. So they got objective 3.
Objective 2.
And objective 2. There we go. That's the other one back there, and they actually have gotten this on that wall, so they scored that objective also. So it is currently 12-10 for the Blood Angels. They're winning it right now. So let's see here. We're going to roll the dice. See if it goes to 7. It's a 2. It doesn't. So that's going to be the end of the game. I have 3 destroyers and my big unit of death over there. But the Blood Angels are going to take it with a 12-10 victory.